You're about to unlock the most counterintuitive truth about attraction that no one tells you, because most guys are too scared to test it. They'll flutter with compliments, linger in texts, play the nice guy game to be safe. You've seen it, hell. You've lived it. You ask her how her day was. You laugh at her stories. You offer her rides home. You're dependable, loyal, always there. But when she looks at you, her pupils don't dilate. Her voice doesn't drop. Her body doesn't lean in. Because something inside her ancient, primal, and brutally honest doesn't see you as a man. It sees you as an emotional security blanket. And the longer you play that role, the tighter you wrap yourself in it. The harder it becomes to ever be seen as anything more. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to shatter that perception and how to make her see you with eyes that don't blink. She doesn't see you as just a friend because you're too kind. She sees you as just a friend because you're too available, always responding, always accommodating, always softening the edges of who you are so she doesn't flinch. But a man who softens his edge for her comfort loses the edge she was drawn to in the first place. You think you're building rapport? She sees a man who doesn't lead. You think you're being supportive. She sees a man who takes emotional orders. You think you're being respectful. She feels nothing. No thrill, no tension, no uncertainty, no polarity. The absence of all these is what friendship is built on and what attraction dies from. You're not in the friend zone because you were too nice. You're in the friend zone because you gave her nothing to lose. She could say anything, do anything, vanish for days, pour her heart out about other men, and you would still be there. Smiling, listening, nodding like a puppy, just happy to be let inside. A man she desires doesn't orbit her emotions. He makes her question her own. He doesn't need her to need him. He doesn't sit in that chair like it's a waiting room for her affection. He stands, moves, lives, and if she doesn't walk with him, he keeps going. Imagine this. She tells you, "You're such a good friend." Your stomach drops. You pretend to laugh it off. But in that moment, she knows. You're hoping she changes her mind. You're hoping one day she sees what's been in front of her all along. But she won't, because you gave her your soul on a platter without making her earn the privilege of tasting it. She didn't take it. You gave it. And that's the moment desire died. You've probably been told, make her laugh. Be there for her. Show her you care. But caring too soon is the death of mystery. She needs to wonder what you think, not be spoon-fed approval. She needs to feel a gap, a silence, a question mark, because desire isn't born in answers. It's born in ambiguity, in tension, in the discomfort of not knowing what she means to you. That's where attraction lives, in that haunting place just past certainty, not in the soft cotton of comfort, but in the raw edges of mystery. You walk into a room. She notices you, not because you smiled, but because you didn't. Not because you greeted her, but because you nodded once, looked her in the eye, then walked on. Something twitches in her. She thinks, who is he? She doesn't know where she stands with you, and that makes her want to stand somewhere. That's the paradox. The second you tell her, I'd do anything for you, she believes you and stops needing you. You want to escape the friend zone. Stop asking for a role in her story. Start writing your own. Stop proving yourself to her. Make her feel like she's proving herself to you, not through games, through presence, through a calm refusal to bend just to be liked, through a silent standard you carry like armor. A woman doesn't want a man who follows her emotions like a shadow. She wants a man who casts his own. You've been told just be confident, but confidence is not a smile. Confidence is indifference to outcome. It's not waiting 3 days to text back. It's not memorizing lines. It's walking away from her mid-sentence because you had somewhere more important to be. Not to manipulate, but because your life is already full. Your world doesn't revolve around her presence. And if she's in it, it's because she earned that seat. So here's the brutal truth. If you're already deep in the friend zone, she doesn't fantasize about you. She doesn't lie in bed wondering what your touch feels like. She doesn't check her phone praying your name lights up, because you've already told her through your behavior that you're not a man. You're a therapist, a journal, a support system with no sharp edges. And women don't crave support systems. They crave storms, stillness, silence that burns. She craves a man who disappears for a week and comes back sharper. A man who listens but doesn't validate. Who touches with calm precision, not frantic worship. A man who can sit across from her and say nothing and make that silence echo. Because in that silence, she has to feel herself. And in that space, something begins to stir. Attraction, not built on approval, but born in tension. The challenge withdraw, not your kindness, but your emotional obedience. Sit back, say less. Don't give her your day unless she asks for it. Don't rush to help unless she deserves it. Don't become her crutch, because the moment you become necessary, you become invisible. Only when you become a choice does she start to chase. And when she asks, "Are we still friends?" you look her dead in the eyes and say, "I don't do friendship like that." No explanations, no apologies, just calm, masculine clarity. Let her feel the loss. Let her wonder. Let her walk away. Or let her lean in. She'll test you. Of course she will. Not because she's cruel, but because she needs to feel your core. She'll ask where you've been. She'll send you a photo out of nowhere. She'll try to pull you back into orbit softly, subtly, not out of love, out of fear. Fear that your attention is no longer guaranteed, that your energy is no longer free, that the man who used to wait is now walking forward without a glance. You don't respond immediately, not because you're trying to be cold, but because you're no longer emotionally available on demand. You have standards. You have sovereignty. She starts to feel something foreign and electrifying uncertainty, and in that uncertainty, she starts to see you differently. Not as the comforter, not as the emotional sponge, but as something dangerous, something distant, something desirable. That shift doesn't happen because you yell or cut her off. It happens in silence, in discipline, in the thousands of little moments where you could lean in and choose not to, where you could ask how she's doing and instead say nothing. Not because you're punishing her, but because you're no longer feeding her attention she didn't earn. She begins to replay your last words, the last glance, the way you didn't smile, the way you looked past her, and it haunts her. Because now, she's the one on uneven ground. Now, she's the one wondering what you think. And that's the first step to changing how she sees you. Curiosity is the mother of desire. Familiarity kills it. But here's the part that no one tells you if you shift too late. She won't notice. You have to become this early, before she boxes you, before she writes the script. You can't fake it once you've already given your soul away for free. That's why this isn't a trick. It's a transformation. You have to become the man who can walk away, not pretend to be him. You have to genuinely not need her, not as a strategy, but as truth. You need to mean it when you say, "I'm not here to be a placeholder." You need to feel it when she doesn't text back. Feel it and still not chase. Still not break your posture because she'll sense it. Women always do. They know when a man is rooted and when he's pretending. So stop asking her how she feels. Stop trying to fix her bad moods. Stop offering support she didn't request. Start pulling your energy inward. Focus it. Build yourself with it. Women don't fall for men who give everything. They fall for men who guard what's sacred, and maybe one day. She looks at you again, really looks, and it's not the same, because something in your eyes has changed. You don't flinch. You don't light up. You don't need, and that unnerves her. It's unfamiliar. It's threatening. And that's what makes it magnetic. Now she wants to touch you. Now she wants to explain herself. Now she's texting first. Because you're no longer offering comfort. You're offering consequence. The consequence of losing a man who doesn't wait? This is the law: you either trigger her comfort or her craving, but never both. The man she leans on is not the man she bends for. She'll confide in the one she calls at midnight. But she'll undress for the one she doesn't fully understand. So be that man. Not mysterious for the sake of mystery, but because you're genuinely focused on your mission, your time, your silence. She's not the center of your life. She's the invited guest, and she knows it. And if she senses you'd leave without hesitation, she won't be able to look away. That's the man she remembers in crowded rooms. That's the one she fantasizes about during quiet nights. Not the one who begged for attention, but the one who made her earn it and never said a word. You've heard her say it before, "I just don't feel that way about you." And you swallowed it like poison, pretending it didn't burn. But here's the truth that no one dares say out loud. She wanted to feel that way. She wanted you to give her something to believe in, something to surrender to. But you didn't. You gave her reliability, not power. You gave her comfort, not chaos. You gave her answers, not the silence that makes a woman dream. That's what no one tells you. It's not about being dangerous. It's about being untouchable. Not physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. She can't pin you down, so she keeps coming back. She can't read you, so she keeps watching. You become a mirror that reflects her own desire back at her, but only if she dares to look. And in that mirror, she'll see every other man who gave too much, too fast, too easily. And she'll remember the one who didn't. You, the one who didn't explain why he left early, the one who didn't double text, the one who didn't ask what she was thinking because he was already thinking about something greater. His vision, his time, his name, his path. This is the core truth she needs to feel your absence as deeply as she feels your presence. Otherwise, there's no weight, no contrast. And without contrast, there's no attraction. You show up too much, and she forgets to feel your worth. You give too much, and she forgets what it cost. But disappear just once without a word, without flinching, and she starts to wonder what she lost. That wondering becomes imagining, and that imagining becomes feeling. She doesn't fall for the one who says, "I'll always be here." She falls for the one she's terrified might not be, because that terror is tied to value, and value to her nervous system is power. She doesn't want to feel safe with you. She wants to feel drawn to you, pulled, shaken, engulfed in that heat that only comes when something bigger than her enters the room and doesn't flinch. You think love is earned through loyalty? She feels love through gravity, the kind of gravity that doesn't beg to be noticed. It just is. It pulls, silently, powerfully, and the more she resists, the more she wants it. So what do? You stop explaining. You stop being the man who apologizes for his edge. You stop being the one who waits for her to come around. You become the man who doesn't need her affection to feel full. You become the one who vanishes without making a scene, and reappears with more silence, more posture, more weight in your eyes. The kind of man who says everything by saying nothing. Because when you embody that silence, when your presence alone makes her question herself, you'll never be just a friend. She'll either come closer, breathless, or she'll back away, afraid. But either way, she'll never forget you. Not because you chased, but because you didn't. Not because you pleased, but because you stood still while every other man ran toward her like a child to fire. She doesn't want fire she can hold. She wants fire that burns her from across the room. So here's your invitation. Step out of the waiting room. Stop hoping. Start withdrawing. Quietly. Not out of resentment, but out of strength. Strength to let her feel the void. Strength to become a man whose silence says, "I'm not here for a role in your drama. I'm here to build an empire. And if you want to be part of that, earn your place. If not, you're free to leave." And when she does leave, you don't chase. You nod. You breathe. You keep walking. Because the man she obsesses over is not the one who stays when he's not wanted. It's the one who vanishes like smoke and never looks back.